everybody, it's Jason with Coin Snobs here. My usual partner in crime, Keith, is going to be out on vacation this week, so you got me all week. But before he left, he was able to go to his local bank and score us a bunch of customer wrapped rolls. We've got some pennies, nickels, and dimes. I'm going to do the nickels tonight. Even though it's 7 rolls, it's going to take me a little while to go through them because, we look at every aspect of the coin. And anybody that knows us knows that if it's not extremely valuable, if it's lower than like a mint state 64 or 65, or sometimes if it's a modern coin, even like a mint state 66 or higher, we don't keep it because it's just not really usually a reason to. Gonna also be keeping like 2009s if they're a decent mint state condition. They're a lower mintage. 2006s are harder to find in a higher mint state. And of course, Buffalo nickels, V nickels. We've never found a V nickel. We have found several Buffalo nickels, but you never know. This could be the start of us finding some V nickels. Of course, going to be looking for errors, double dies, struck through grease, repunched nit marks on the older ones, things like that. But if I find anything super cool in here, I will come back to you. Otherwise, I will do a wrap up at the end, and we will take a look at everything that I find through the microscope and see if it's going to be worth keeping. I'll see you shortly. All right, everybody, back at it. I'm going to take a look at what I found. Only found 4 possible coins in all 7 of those rolls. Nothing spectacular, but the first one was a 2009, as we were talking about earlier. It's a little bit lower mintage, but this one's not going to be worth keeping just because it's really heavily circulated. I know a lot of people still keep them whether they're circulated or not just because they're 2009, but I personally think that if it's this bad, there's not really a reason to keep it, and Keith agrees. But yeah, you could just see a whole lot of bag marks on there, and it's just not a pretty coin. 2009, but it just doesn't qualify. Next one I've got is one that I thought might have had some doubling on the reverse. It is a 1984p. As you can see, it's pretty well circulated. I have a feeling, though, that the doubling that I might be seeing on the reverse is either going to be machine doubling, or it could just be that it's a heavily degraded die. And as you guys know by now from our other previous videos, if it's a degraded die, it allows so much metal flow to go through the devices on the die that it'll actually show up as looking fatter. You can actually see the metal flow, and that's exactly what we're looking at here. You can see over here on the 2 L's of the Monticello, it almost looks like they're double die, but it's actually on both sides. And these guys right here, and that shows that it's actually it's degraded die. It's a die that's closer to the end of its lifespan. It's allowing metal to flow in between the devices in the field, and it's making the whole thing look kind of sloppy. Part of the E is missing here, which could be struck through grease, but I don't think so. From looking at it under the loop, it actually looks like it's damage. So that one is going to be another reject. We'll say no to that one. Next one is the first 2019 that I have found, which is weird because, here it is July, and I haven't seen a 2019 nickel yet. Yeah, it's got quite a few bag marks on it. It's got some signs of circulation, which is a shame because, looking at the fields, this was a beautifully struck coin. It's got some pretty bad bag marks there on his cheek and just above Liberty, and actually even on Liberty. Bad marks above the Monticello there. Yeah, and even on the steps, you can see there's a little bit of a mark on the step right about here. which would probably disqualify it from even being full steps. Full steps, depending on the grading company that you use. I believe PCGS requires that you have to have at least 4 or 5 fully struck steps. And by that, fully struck steps means that you have to have at least 4 or 5 of these steps not only fully struck, but they also have to be uninterrupted. So in other words, if there's damage, the damage can actually disqualify it from being a full step. And especially with modern coins, you definitely want to look for the full steps. I mean, if it's not a full step and it's a modern coin, I would say modern being probably 1980 and up for nickel, then it's really just not going to be worth it. And then the next one is an older one, heavily circulated, but it is 1953. Heavily circulated, but I mean, it's probably been circulating for most of that life. Okay. And here in the center, you can actually see a swirl mark right in the middle of Monticello. And what causes that is sometimes they'll get stuck inside of a vending machine, and as they spin, they'll actually start to put those round circles on the center, which is a real shame. I see a lot of them on nickels, but I have found them all the way up to $50. And it's an S. Doesn't look like anything out of the ordinary for the S, but I will check the cherry picker's guide to make sure I'm not looking for an S over S or an S over D. But as you can see, it's most definitely a heavily circulated coin. Even though it's a heavily circulated coin, just personal preference for me and Keith, anything 1959 and back, we still keep it. We just put it in a tube and hold on to it. I mean, it's not going to be worth anything, obviously, but it's personal preference for us. It's what we collect. And that actually brings up a really good point. Even if something's not worth a ton of money or even worth more than its face value, if you like it, keep it. Who cares? The biggest part about coin collecting is that if it makes you happy, keep it. I don't care if it's a common mint state coin, if it's a birth year coin, whatever. If you want it, keep it. I mean, it's great, of course, to see the investment aspect of coin collecting, which is really, really heavy. There is a lot of that. And there's a lot of opportunity for coin collecting and investing. But above all else, do what makes you happy. So that's why we're going to keep this heavily circulated 1953S. I mean, it's San Francisco strike, but not uncommon, and certainly not uncommon in this. I mean, there's probably a lot of people out there with coins out there this age that are in their pockets that are better than this, but 1953, it's still a cool coin. But anyways, guys, that's all I've got for you today. In the next few days, I'm going to be going through the dimes and the pennies, and we'll go through those together and see what I find. Thank you to everybody who has subbed the channel the past week or so. It's actually growing pretty good. We've probably more than doubled our subs in the past 28 days, which, I mean, I know that doesn't sound like a big deal when you don't have that many subs, but every single sub absolutely counts. Right now, we're sitting at 63 subs, so we're getting closer pretty much every day to that 100 sub giveaway. So if you like what you see, please go ahead and throw us a sub and a like. Please leave any comments down below. Again, if you have any questions, comments, anything you'd like to see us do in the future, go ahead and let us know in the comments. And then next week, so long as we don't have any technical difficulties, we should be having a live stream. Finally, I have the webcam figured out. We just have to figure out a day where me and Keith can get together and we can go through some $50 and hope that you guys will join us when we do. In the meantime, I will see you guys the next couple of days, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much, everybody.